What's up, you guys? We're out here at the awesome range that I have out here in glorious 29 Palms, California, and I got a brand new gun I'd like to show you guys. This is my brand new FN Scar chambered in 308, and what we're going to talk about are a little bit of things that you may not know about this rifle, such as I did not know it had O2 sights on this thing. I'm going to compare and contrast this thing back to my M16 because for the past 13 years as a U.S. Marine, I've only shot the M16 exclusively all day, every day. And so if you remember from the M16A4, M16A2s, you'll have your iron sights. With the iron sights, they'll flip up. Sorry, these ones flip up. But you also have the O2 or the O1 sights. O2 is for the close range and O1 is for the further kind of ranges. This one has pop-up iron sights, and it also has the flip-up sights too that have the O2 and the O1. I did not know that little fact. I like the fact that the knobs on this thing are super overly freaking huge. And with my arthritis, a bad kind of hand, you can easily twist the windage and also the elevation knob on here. It's very, very simple to use. However, since I am not going to be using iron sights today, I have my ACOG, which I spent a pretty penny on. And holy crap, the glass on that thing is just so smooth. Looking through it is just clean. It's so clean. I don't know if it's just because of what I've been used. The military has been used and abused for so dang long, but it's just so nice. I have the chevron on this one with the bullet drop compensator out to 600 yards, and it is green in color. I like this thing. Eventually, the compensator of this might be coming off a little bit later on. It is loud. It is pretty loud. I mean, I'll be wearing double ear protection just because of reasons. But this might be coming off, might be adding a suppressor in the near future. You have the gas regulator system in here for the gas piston operated system. So whenever you add a suppressor on here, you got to make sure you switch the gas regulator to its appropriate spot or it's just not going to cycle. Other than that, I'll be using my hand reloaded bullets today, which come in my Dillon Precision little box, but I make my own bullets. I shoot about 165 to 168 grain, traveling about 2,500 feet per second, so it's not too shabby. But I've had no cycling issues so far. So I'll be shooting this a couple times, then later on at the end of this video, I'll be showing you a quick teardown of how to take apart your FN Scar. Which it's similar to the M16 in a little bit of the sense of it has some push pins on here. Other than that, it is completely different, way different because it's a gas piston operated system. And that's one of the main reasons why I chose this gun. The platform of it, it's M16-like in style. It has a collapsible buttstock. It has your pistol grip. It has a reciprocating charging handle, which is a little different, but close to the M14 style. But other than that, I like it. I just don't like money, is the main reason why I bought this damn thing. I paid $3,000 for it in total, but that's because I triggered a gun for it. So I would have paid $3,000, but all in all, I just paid an extra $1,000 on top of the old M14 that I had with this bad boy. The stock does collapse, so it is just like my M4 that I've had. Except though it's just all or nothing kind of thing. It is either just goes in a little bit or a whole lot. And you can't really choose the 6 position slide stocks on here. With my eye relief to the back of the gun, I keep it about the max setting. And then can also make it go up and down with the back resting chip piece, which I keep that bitch all the way cranked up. You have a lot of standard rails on the front end of this machine gun. You got some of the 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, all around this stupid thing. As for the rails, though, it's just going to add more weight to it. It's just going to add a lot of weight. The ounces add up to pounds, and I don't really think that all that extra kind of weight would be necessary. So the only thing I'm adding on this thing is going to be a bipod, which would be for a little carry handle purpose. Only because, like I said, it has a reciprocating charging handle. Every time you pull the trigger, round goes down range, and this trigger guard, this carry handle, is going to come back same thing as the bolt does, which is not like the M16. So only small drawback to that versus the M16 is the M16, you cock it, you fire it, and nothing else really moves except the trigger when you're pulling it. So I have a pistol grip down this way to keep my finger away from this and getting it chopped away. I do like how it's gas piston operated. So it is not like the M16, which is gas blowback. This one's gas piston system operated. So it's super smooth. It is super smooth and super clean. I shot it yesterday a couple times and tried to zero it. That's what we'll be doing out today, is to get it nice and zeroed about 100 yards or so. But it doesn't seem all that dirty to it. The top part is all steel, all aluminum, and the bottom carrying group is all just plastic and polymer, same as the buttstock to it. So it feels a bit top heavy, but slapping a magazine inside of it and it feels pretty good. But that's enough talking. Let's get down to So here we have the grouping out about 75 yards, which is decent. If I just call my balls and get a little bit better at it, we can do okay. So we're shooting a little bit low and to the right. But my biggest problem is when aiming, we have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 600 yard line on my reticle. I'm holding dead center at the 600 yard line, and we're still hitting a little bit low. So here we have the original 3 shots that I took with the, let's see, 37.5 grain bullets. Then I went full send. I went up to the 40 grain of bullets, of 40 grains of gunpowder per serving. If you notice, the grouping is pretty fucking tight, all a nice little tight roll, which I expected it should be, being a 1 MOA kind of rifle. So after adjustments, we are still a bit to the right. However, just keep it go a little bit more left. Now we are high, which is exactly what I wanted to do. Because again, I'm using the 600 yard line reticle at dead center, and I'm still hitting super low. So I want to make it 100 yard line, dead center 0, so I can make this thing go up as high as it'll go. So, last we were here, I pasted up all my shots. I recentered it and got it really high. Unfortunately, I hit nothing on paper. So I went back, pasted my target, and here we are, aim at the 500 yard line. And now we're getting a pretty good silent group, which again, it's about 1 MOA, which is nice for my rifle. So screw those guys who said the ACOG cannot do 1 MOA kind of shots. I think I adjusted a little bit too far left. Maybe it's just myself. But let's keep cranking it up and see if I can get the 100 yard line reticle in the green, so you can get that shot placement up the green also. And finally, we have my shot group, which overall it's not quite at 100 yards, so I'll knock it down maybe 3 clicks, which will be just one MOA at 100 yards. So I'll be about right dead center. As for left and right, it's not too shabby. This little guy, I don't know about that little guy. All right, so before we take it back to the room and take apart the Scar, let's see how fast this thing can shoot. Again, it's just semi-automatic, so I pull the trigger, it sends around down range. It's not 3-round burst, it's not full auto. I had a friend yesterday, he's like, is that 3-round burst? Is that full auto? Like, I'm just pulling it really fast. It's a brand new gun. So I'm gonna show you what the capabilities can do of a piston gas operated system. So now that we're back, I'd like to bring up some pros and cons about the Scar that I just don't like, even after paying so much money for the stupid gun. First off is the charging handle. Yeah, it reciprocates. I mean, I had that with the M14, so really I didn't lose or gain much with the reciprocating charging handle. So just like the M14, except this one is going to be on this side. I could pull out the charging handle. I could put the other side of this bad boy. Just kind of iffy of which side I want to put it on. So yeah, it's kind of a downfall versus the AR-15 kind of platforms, the M16s, where they don't have that reciprocating platform at all. The biggest gripe I have to complain about though is the safety mechanism. Putting this thing on to fire and to safe is just kind of it's not too shabby. It is universal, so it can be the left side or the right side, depending if you're left or right-handed. Only thing is though, it's just small. It's a really small selector switch for my, I don't know, big thumb, I guess. I mean, I got long fingers, but it just seems like a small kind of plate, little pad right there to flip down to safe and up the semi. So I don't like that little fact. It is a piece of plastic. I wonder if they got a couple bucks out there and just get a bigger selector fire switch. That is the biggest kind of thing that I'd love to see happen. Trigger pull, second big thing. The trigger weight, I want to say, is about 5.5 pounds, maybe 6. So again, going back to the M16, which I know and love, is about equivalent to the M16 style, which is also 5-pound trigger pull. I have a Smith & Wesson M&P 9mm, which has a 3-pound trigger pull on it. It's kind of scary. It's just so light. Do I want to put 3-pound trigger pull on this thing? Yes. Even though I just said yes, it's too scary. But I just don't think I could get around to having a 5-pound trigger pull on this thing and just kind of get used to it. Mainly because today in the video you just saw, I was in the prone and just pulling. The trigger weight on this darn thing, it was just a little bit too hard. It's just squeezing a little bit too hard to get the thing out there. As for the creep, there's not much creep to it. But just overall though, I'd much prefer something with a little less pull to it. So about 2 to 3 pounds. There's a certain company out there that makes some custom triggers to make it about 2 to 3 pounds worth, which I'd definitely go for the 3-pound trigger pull on this bad boy versus the stock one. Other than that, iron sights, no problems with them. I'm not going to use them, but that's about it. As for the takedown of this thing, it's a little bit of a mix of everything I've worked with before. You have a takedown pin in the front, which is just one simple kind of takedown. So just push it all the way through. After that, nothing else is new of what I've seen before. In which the lower receiver, you just kind of pull it back, and then it just drops out from the bottom of it. And so the lower receiver gets taken apart. From here, you don't really break down or too much mess with the bottom portion of it. It all goes into the upper receiver portion. For the upper receiver, the buttstock portion of the thing is going to slide down or up in this kind of portion because I have the weapon upside down. Now I can see the bolt carrying group with the piston. We can see the spring down this ways. So I just have to take out the butt pad of the darn thing. I just like to call it the butt pad. And here are the very, very long spring, which again, it reminds me of the 240. Because down here, well, the hole, which the springs go inside, you can't really see the hole too well. Lighting's kind of off. But you have the hole in here that reminds me of the M240. Then we have the single coil looking like a little spring. From here, we can just slide the charging handle back and take out the bolt. We take out the charging handle on the left side. And from here, since you take out the charging handle, you can now put it on the left or right side at this point in time. But if not, just keep on sliding out. And here we have the bolt carrying group, along with the gas piston system. And a little bit of carbon on the tip of the faceplate right here. Other than that, I mean, not too shabby. For my hand loads, I would expect it to be a little bit more dirty because it kind of seems like my hand-loaded ammunition does not burn up completely. However, though, it still does the right kind of trick. You can take out the bolt in this thing. I'm just going to not to. Just simple field strip as for right now kind of thing. And we'll just throw it all back together for you guys. See, let's keep charging handle on this side of it. Butt plate goes back in. And buttstock attaches like so. Gosh, first time I took off this buttstock, I just broke my thumb. It hurt so much. Okay, not entirely break my thumb, but it hurt awfully bad. So I really got to play with this thing a whole lot more before it gets to come a little bit loose. But it is such a pain in the butt to get this thing back on. I need some lubricant for it, I swear. Good? Okay, now it's in place. And then your upper receiver, again, just slide it forward. Make sure the pins are all lined up. And it locks all back into place.